One of the coolest things I've learned about SQL as of late that I wish I knew 10 years ago is the magic of select for update. There are many times in an application where you want to do a database read and then apply some sort of application layer logic based upon what you've read and then commit that back to the database. With that strategy, you always run the risk of other updates coming along between your read and your write. If you have a case where you need to prevent that and ensure that nothing has changed about that record from the initial read, that's where select for update comes into play. Inside of a transaction, you can do a select at or near the beginning of it, tag on for update. And that will ensure that by the time later in the transaction, when you issue updates, the original record has not changed. What's really cool about this is it operates on a row level. So it doesn't lock the whole table, doesn't lock a lot of records. It only locks the one record. And in addition to that, any other users or connections to the database trying to come in and issue updates, they don't get blocked, they actually get queued. So if you have multiple writes trying to happen at the same time, or really reads and then writes, they get queued and happen in a single file line. Let me give you a real life example in our app Baton. The issue entity in our database is really kind of the center entity, like an issue tracker. And for many operations, we're wanting to update titles, update descriptions, update statuses, something especially like a status update. We might want to do some calculations based upon the current state, what it's allowed to transition into, etc. And for that, we need to apply application layer logic. Because of this, and wanting to ensure that the base state of where the issue was doesn't change by the time we write new state, select for update is a really great use case here. It's not important to understand all of this code, but we have a central place where we apply mutations or updates to our issue records. And what we do is we open up a transaction. We're utilizing Prisma here in addition to Postgres as our database. We open up a transaction. At the very beginning of that transaction, we issue a select statement. And then at the end of that, we add on for update. Now, if you're used to Prisma, you're like, why are you doing a raw query for a select statement? Well, the unfortunate part is that Prisma doesn't support for update natively, but you can, of course, drop down to raw queries in order to do this. So it's not that bad. And in fact, to utilize the Prisma types, I'm just typing this using the Prisma types that are generated for this type of record anyway. So I am still getting to use some of the magic of Prisma in there, just not for the select query itself. Inside of this transaction, we open it up. Very first thing we do is we do a select statement for update. That pauses not only writes to this issue record, but it pauses other reads that are also marked for update. So that's crucial to understand too, is that it doesn't block other reads. Tons of other reads can be coming in. But if there are any other reads that are marked for update, those reads will pause and queue until this one has been committed. So now we can safely select our base version of the issue, calculate any updates that we want to apply at the application layer, and then apply those at the end, knowing that our base version hasn't changed. Once that's committed, other for update selects and updates can come into play and happen one at a time. So there you go. Try out select for update. It's a really nice tool to use when it's needed and something I wish I knew 10 years ago. I'll see you next time.